DFS, and I am going to go over today's enormous 15-game MLB DFS slate. Now, the good news is that I'm going to do it four ways. I'm going to build on DraftKings using SaberSim's projections, see where we get, then change the inputs, the Goldie's projections, and see how changing the inputs affects things. Just to do a little comparison. And I use Goldie's projections, so it'll show you where I'm getting in the early going. And I'll do the same thing for FanDuel. So SaberSim, Goldie, DraftKings, SaberSim, Goldie, FanDuel. So we'll do it four ways and see what the different outcomes look like on the different sites. But the good news about that is I'm just trusting the process. So I don't have to go through game by game by game by game 15 times to give my takes. I'm going to let the algorithms solve this for me. And so I will sort of build as if I'm playing 150 max in the flagship. That's what most people ask about. And we'll go ahead and see where we get to. Now, before I start, it helps us out if you like and subscribe. So please like, subscribe, keep checking us out, and check out TrueDFS.com. We're currently working on the website, so it's a little messy right now, but you could go on there and you can check out the packages. You get access to everything we're going to use today, plus the Pater analytics model for DFS and for betting. That's been really effective. And you get access to Goldie's projections, Sheets' projections, the premium Discord, all of that. And it's like $25 more than a SaberSim Ultimate package. I'm going to build today as if I'm on the Ultimate package. T has made a good point that if you're building on the native and using the bigger package, it's not quite the same results as if you're building 5,000 using the Ultimate. So I'm going to go back to using that. I kind of got in the habit of using the other when the new portfolio manager for SaberSim came out, but you do get access to all of that. So that is my plug, and I'll make it again because it is important to us. So like, subscribe, and check us out. So let's go ahead and build. I got to make two changes to the projections per DraftKings rules. So I'm going to do just that. Actually, we might as well take it down a notch just to keep it exactly perfect. And then the one thing I'm going to do here pre-build is X out all the stacks I don't want to play on the slate. I don't really see a reason to build them if I'm not going to play them, because if I build them, it's going to take away potential graded lineups that I would play. And I want to grade as many lineups that I'm going to play. I only get 5,000, right? So I'm not going to play anything but 5-2s and 5-3s on a 15-game slate. If I build them, that's probably what I'm going to get to anyway. So just get a pool of as many as possible, and let's go ahead and build. And then, so what this is doing, if you're new to this, is it's playing these games out hundreds of thousands of times, and it's literally playing them out. So it's doing a play-by-play simulation. Skubal throws a strike. Skubal gets this batter out. Skubal gives up a hit. What comes next for Seattle? Do they steal? Does the next guy hit a homer? Does he strike out? And there's probabilities assigned to all of them, and the game kind of unfolds, and that's how you get the average projections from those unfoldings. It's called a Monte Carlo simulation. It's a complex process, but that's basically how it breaks down. So we're going to do that. That's kind of what we're doing now in building these 5,000 lineups, and it's going to build the best lineups based on those contest simulations, based on those play-by-play simulations. Then we're going to simulate the contest that we're in. So we'll do it now for the flagship. And it says, okay, let's say everyone in the flagship, there's like 11,000 people, and they play lineups at this rate, and they play these stacks at this rate, and 5-mans at this rate, and 4-mans at this rate, and so on. How would the 5,000 lineups that we built, how would each one of those grade against that hypothetical field what we expect people to do on DraftKings? And when I say grade, I mean, what would their ROI be in the long run? So you simulate that contest over and over and over, doing it really fast with the technology that it has in the hardware, but simulating that over and over again to get an ROI grade is exactly what we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and get our 150 going. We are running those contest simulations that I just talked about right now. And then we are going to ask it for 150. And right now it's sorting by uniques, right? And we don't want that. We want to actually build a diverse portfolio. And SaberSim has solved that for us. So they're going to understand that we're playing a lot of lineups and we want to stay in the game. So we want exposure kind of everywhere. And we want the best plays, some of the high ROI, low probability plays. We want to get to kind of all of that. So let's see. We got to run this for the flagship. Sorry about that. Let me zoom in here. Oh, I see, because I didn't enter yet. Okay, so let's see if I go to contest, if I can get this built for yes. Let's add a custom sim, assuming 150 entries. Okay. See, now I'm used to using the native SaberSim. I'm not as adept at this one. Okay. Still wants me to upload entries. A bit frustrating. This is not how it worked. I could switch over to the native. Should be sorted here. Let's run it again and see what happens. Otherwise, we will just look the old way by uniques and see what we get to. Afternoon, Andy. D Pope, what's up? Adam had been on a slide last few days for MLB. Let's get a takedown. Yeah, let's do it. Look, if you've been on a slide and it's only been a few days, you're doing something right, right? Like slides happen and they're long in DFS and there's tons of variants. So a few days slide, you're doing pretty good. And I've seen the screenshots, D Pope. You're killing it. So few day slide shouldn't be no problem. How do you approach exposures, Max? Let's say for a 20 max, are you capping any? I'm not. For a 20 max, just like playing for 150, I would let the portfolio manager kind of solve that for me. I'm not one that like really worries about how to solve these things. I'm just inclined to let SaberSim do its thing with the portfolio manager and diversify smartly and keep me in the game. So I'm not going to set any maxes or anything like that. Let's see if you had time. Can you break down the $4.20 max? Yeah, I'm having trouble using this. I mean, maybe people who use I've been using the native with SaberSim, and now it's telling me I need to upload my lineups first, but I'm not playing 150, so I don't want to upload those, and I haven't registered yet. So I don't know exactly why it's doing that. But let's get to the $4.20 max. See if I can't get that graded out, D Pope. But when you say focus on it, it is. I have a pretty simple process where I am just going to trust the models. So let's see if we can't play around with this and get this figured out here of why it is not running portfolio manager for me. Should be assigned a group. Let's see if we go to uniques here. If we just sort by like Saber score here, it's fine. It's not showing me my exposures. Let's see what happens. Just do a refresh here. Sorry about this, guys. All right, diversifying lineups. But it doesn't have my contest uploaded. So let's see if that works correctly. It's only giving me my pool exposures, but it's not giving me. Try it this way. Hopefully we're going to get that answered for you. Depot. Like for myself on a slate this big, I make a stack rule of at least 5-man, 1 through 6 hitters, no pitchers against batters, run late slots with those. Okay, so a couple things. I agree that you only want to play 5-mans. And you could do that with the rule, or you could do it like the way I did, where I just X everyone out. I think either way is fine. Now, playing just 1 through 6 hitters, I don't know if you necessarily need to do that. I don't think I would do that. I would let anyone in the lineup with correlation, and I wouldn't worry about just having the 1 through 6 batter and having that kind of extreme correlation. I think that the strongest correlation in baseball has been shown to be within lineups, not between batters, because each hit anywhere in the lineup is 1/9 more at bats for another player in that lineup. It's not the correlation is not so strong with like the runs and RBIs, or not as strong. Like your guy is hitting 6th and the 5th guy gets on, and so the 6th guy has a better chance at an RBI, something like that. Like there is some correlation there, but it's not as strong as just the inter-lineup correlation, if I'm saying that correctly. So I don't think that it's really something to worry about with just getting the 1 through 6. The other problem with that is you could get value bats 7 through 9, right? I mean, what if there's a guy 7 through 9 who's priced at 2,400 and he ain't good, but he's good when you play him in concert with the 1 through 6? Or what about the wraparound stack where the 9-hole hitter wraps around to the 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that? I mean, you get that a lot. So I don't know that I would really be too picky about that. The thing about asking for only 5-mans is on a slate this big, I don't want to play 5 with a bunch of one-offs either. Like, so I don't know. I don't think that I would even allow less than 5 2s or 5 3s. So I don't know, but maybe you're right? It's a tough question. So let's see if we could use the native SaberSim here to build. I'm going to take it down to 5,000 lineups. I'm going to make 2 changes here. And then Depot, I'll show you what I'm talking about, is I just go to the stack exposures instead of setting a rule and X them off. And this way I don't have to mess around with rules at all. And then the no pitchers with that, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't think you're going to get to any anyway. On a small slate, it might happen. It will, 2-game slates, 3-game slates could happen a little bit, but I don't think that it's going to happen on this one. So I don't know. I don't set that rule. I see why you would do it, because you may get, a few of them in there for some reason, and those are just wasted lineups, and you don't want to waste any. So that makes sense. But I don't know. I don't really set rules when I build. I mean, and I even question like the min salary. I have it at its default, but like, I don't know. Should I be lower? Should I be 0? Should I just let it completely do its thing? It's tough, but let's see. Let's build using SaberSims, DK, see where we get to. We'll try and sim for the 20 max. Hopefully this works better. It's going. I've noticed it's a little slower since the portfolio manager, and I don't know what that's about. It may just be that as the software gets more and more complex, as Jordan said in office hours, this is a complex piece of software and it gets more and more complex. Someone asked about, doing lineups on your phone. It's like you can, but it's harder and it gets harder and harder, right? Like, why do you want to do that? So I don't know, but seems to be finally working. Okay. All right. Let's see, for 20 max, we want to get it on Portfolio Manager. How do I simulate it without adding my lineups? This is what I want to know. So, like, what's Portfolio Manager doing here? Here we go. All right. So this is 20 into the flagship. So this is not quite the 20 max Deep Hope, but it's 20 lineups. And we could see where we're getting using SaberSim. Look at that, Chase Burns. Yeah, against Colorado. I mean, he could have 100 strikeouts in 27 batters. Why not? I mean, he just came up from the minors with Colorado. Colorado should be like the competition he was facing. Let's see what stacks we get to for 20s. Really spread out. Not surprised. Toronto is the highest. Then you get the Miami. It's Miami, their late game, right? Where did Miami go? Oh, they're an early game. In Baltimore against the weak pitcher. Okay. We do have to look at weather real quickly. We'll do that in our next build when we do for FanDuel. Let's see if we built 150, how spread out we'd look. So still highest on Toronto, but a little bit of everyone. A little bit of everyone today. What's Toronto got going? They're like the hottest team in baseball. Going into Oakland. Can't complain. The next, probably the best stadium on this slate. Oakland, a pretty bad team. Who's Oakland got pitching? Somebody down there in projection. Even have a projection on it? Oh, Severino. Okay. Toronto against Severino in Oakland. Let's see. We get the other end of it. We probably get a little bit of Scherzer, right? Yeah, 12% Scherzer. Highest owned pitcher, Chase Burns, followed by Skubal and Skeens. Strikeouts galore. Now, Skubal projects are, but Chase Burns is such a good value on the slate. Really popping. Let's see now. If we upload Goldie's projections and see where we get. Projection, ownership, good. Call it Goldie's. This is what I'm going to use to build lineups. Let's rebuild them. Get these 5,000 going. Let's take a look at weather. So no real, I mean, nothing. You got to monitor it, and things are going to change throughout the day. No really tough spots. I mean, there's a Kansas City Mets thing that gets the yellow-orange. So let's say this was right before lock. I mean, you could look at Ross' tweets too. Sometimes you read the comments too, because he's got more, like, he was vague yesterday on the White Sox thing, like about the late start and what it could mean. But then in the comments of the tweet, he was pretty explicit that he was too scared of the game. So it's worth looking at as much info from Roth as we can get, but this is fine for right now. before lock, you know, on a 15-game slate, are you playing this game? I don't know. I don't think so. But you're going to get really low ownership. It's a good hitting stadium. It's not a great home run stadium. It's a good hitting environment. And the Mets have a good total. So, you know, maybe you are taking the shots, at least on bats. Pitching. Is it anyone we care about? Senga? I mean, Senga could be okay. He's not projecting well. Waka. Consummate pro, but can get hit. So, I don't know. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on everything in weather. All right, let's see 20 max. Let's first see, like, it's not quite building for the 20 max, but let's see if we built 20 lineups in the flagship, what our top exposures would look like using Goldie's projections. Get the diversifier going. All right, let's see. Skubal over Burns. We had that in their top 20 3 ones, but then you get Joe Ryan popping up. Joe Ryan coming in there. Okay. Logan Webb, we got a share of him against the Dodgers. He's good. He's good. Scary matchup. Let's see if the stacks change much. It does change. You get even more Toronto. Then you get Milwaukee pop up, Miami down a little, Cincy up. Let's see in 150 if that evens out and it becomes similar. What do we have, like 20% Toronto? Maybe not even. When we use it, I think it was like 20, maybe. 24% Toronto, then Cincinnati, then Miami, Milwaukee. So we get a little bit of differentiation using Goldie's stuff. That's why I like to use it. Let's see in the pitching. Yeah, I mean, a little bit different. We had more Burns than Skubal using SaberSim. We didn't have as much Joe Ryan. We get a little bit more in the Scherzer. Let's see if we got any, like, just batters that it says you got to get to. Our highest exposed batter, Jesus Sanchez. He's got the power. So we got 20% Jesus Sanchez. So we'll be rooting. If we were right now, we'd be rooting for a Jesus Sanchez home run. Let's see. We have him in 29 lineups. How many of that are stacked? 16. Okay, so we've got him as a in the 2-mans or the 3-mans quite a bit. 13. Well, not necessarily third, but yeah, could be more. Because he's not necessarily in all these Miami stacks. Okay, there you have it. That's what I would play on DraftKings. I am not going to go ahead and do FanDuel today. I'm going to get out of here. I'm not playing on FanDuel. For those of you that have questions about it, please, come join us in Discord and check out TrueDFS.com. You can get access to everything I used today. The price is right. It's like $25 more for a lot of different things. It's one of the most robust packages in the industry. So check it out, like and subscribe.